Have you ever walked into a crowded place and felt your body whisper, "No, not today"? Not because you hate people, not because you are boring, and not because something is broken inside you. Maybe your mind is noticing too much, feeling deeply, and protecting you from a world that has forgotten quiet. In a society that praises loud confidence, socializing, and always being available, people who crave silence are often misunderstood. But what if your need for solitude is not weakness? What if it is intelligence? What if the part of you that avoids crowds is the same part that sees truth more clearly than everyone else? If you want to understand psychology behind emotions, introversion, and patterns people miss, subscribe to Thalvin Psychology. Because today, we explore why people who avoid crowds may not be antisocial. They may be built for depth in a world addicted to noise. Some people hear crowded concert and imagine lights, laughter, music, and freedom. You hear the same invitation, and your nervous system quietly prepares an emergency meeting. It is not because you hate fun. It is because your brain immediately calculates the full psychological cost. The loud music, the strangers standing too close, the small talk you will have to perform, the bright lights, the forced smiles, the ride home, and the exhaustion waiting afterward. For many people, a party feels like relaxation. For a highly sensitive mind, it can feel like receiving an expensive energy bill before the night even begins. So when you say no, you are not being lazy or antisocial. Your brain is simply protecting your peace before the world gets too loud inside and around you. For most people, walking into a crowd is simple. Their brain filters out the background noise, the flickering lights, the movements, the random laughter, and the strangers brushing past them. For a highly sensitive mind, it becomes a full sensory broadcast. Your brain does the opposite. It notices the laugh behind you. It catches the light blinking above the bar. It hears 3 conversations at once. It reads the tiny shift in someone's face before they even speak. Everyone else is watching life in normal definition, but you are trapped in an 8K experience with no button to lower the quality. That is why social events can leave you exhausted. You are not weak. Your nervous system simply processed more information than the room was meant to give you tonight. Psychologists sometimes call this sensory processing sensitivity. In simple words, it means your brain does not just receive the world, it receives the world deeply. You notice details other people miss. You remember small changes in tone, lighting, movement, and mood. You analyze things carefully, even when you wish you could just ignore them. So no, you are not too sensitive. Your nervous system may simply have its volume turned higher than most people's. A light that feels slightly bright to someone else can feel harsh to you. A voice that sounds normal to others can feel sharp in your body. A messy room can feel like mental static. You are not making things dramatic. Your brain is responding to signals your system was built to detect. People may call it overthinking, but sometimes it is pattern recognition with no off switch. Your brain does not collect information. It stores it. It labels it. It brings it back later and asks, "Did we miss something?" That conversation from 3 weeks ago, that strange pause before someone answered, that half joke that felt too honest. Most people forget those details, but your mind files them under possibly important. This can become exhausting because a brain that sees more also searches more. It keeps connecting tone, timing, facial expressions, and memory. The gift is that you notice patterns others ignore. The burden is that your mind does not always know when to stop looking. So maybe you are not overthinking. Maybe you are trying to understand what others never noticed. Long before crowded cities and glowing screens, sensitivity was not a weakness. It was survival. The person who heard the strange sound in the dark could warn the group. The person who noticed the bitter smell of a plant might keep others from eating it. The person who felt tension in the air before danger arrived was not dramatic. They were useful. Modern society often praises the loudest person in the room, but human history also depended on the quiet observer standing at the edge, watching. Not everyone was built to rush into noise. Some people were built to see, listen, sense, and protect. So if your mind notices what others ignore, remember this. You were not designed to be loud. You were designed to notice what loud people miss. Introverted people do not usually hate people. They hate the performance people bring into crowded rooms. The fake excitement, the forced laughter, the I'm fine smile that does not reach the eyes, the pretending to listen while already waiting to speak. For a sensitive mind, these layers are exhausting. You do not just hear what someone says, you hear the tone beneath it. You notice the pause before the answer. You read the face, the posture, the energy, and the truth hiding behind the words. That does not make you judgmental. It means your mind keeps translating the conversation underneath the conversation. You may not dislike people at all. You may simply struggle to pretend everything feels amazing when the room feels painfully fake. You can do small talk. You can smile, ask about the weekend, comment on the weather, and survive a polite conversation. But inside, it can feel strangely empty, like chewing cardboard while everyone else pretends it is a five-star meal. That is because your nervous system does not crave endless noise. It craves meaning. You are not lonely because there are no people around you. You are lonely because there are too few real conversations. One honest talk at 3 a.m. about fear, dreams, loss, memory, or regret can make you feel more alive than 50 networking events. You do not want attention from everyone. You want connection from someone who is finally willing to be real with you. Extroverted people often feel rewarded by movement, noise, parties, and constant social energy. A crowded room can make their brain light up with excitement, but your reward system may work differently. You may not feel most alive in the middle of a party. You may feel alive in a quiet room with a book, a thought, a song, or a window. You are not missing the joy of life. You are receiving it from another source. A walk alone can reset you. An evening without interruptions can restore you. A private space can make your mind creative again. This does not mean you are afraid of people. It means your nervous system performs best when it has room to breathe, think, and return to itself. Some sensitive people walk into a room and immediately feel what nobody has said. They can sense who is sad. They can feel who is angry. They can notice who is smiling only because they are trying not to fall apart. It is almost like becoming an emotional Wi-Fi router. You do not just observe the room, you absorb it. The stress, the excitement, the tension, the anxiety, and the hidden sadness all move through your nervous system. That is why a 2-hour event can leave you needing a day of silence. You are not tired from people. You are tired from carrying emotions that were never yours. Your empathy is real, but even a gift becomes heavy when no one teaches you how to put it down. Modern society often confuses noise with happiness. If you are busy, surrounded, posting, attending, and always available, people assume you are living well. But some people know that constant motion is not the same as meaning. Silence is not empty. Silence is where clarity returns. Solitude is not always loneliness. Sometimes, solitude is the only place where you can finally hear yourself again. You are not missing out on life when you choose peace. You are refusing rooms that drain your spirit just to prove you belong. Your quiet is not a social failure. It is a form of freedom. You are not antisocial. You are not boring. You are not broken. You are simply built for depth in a world addicted to noise. So if crowds drain you, it does not mean you are weak. It may mean your nervous system is deeper, sharper, and more responsive than people realize. You feel more because you notice more. You need silence because your mind is constantly processing what others ignore. And there is nothing broken about that. The world may praise loud energy, but quiet depth has its own kind of power. Are you the kind of person who feels drained by crowds, or do crowds give you energy? Tell me in the comments, because your answer may reveal more about your mind than you think. If this video made you feel seen, subscribe to Thalvin Psychology and watch the next video on screen. It explores another quiet psychological trait most people misunderstand.